I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Can anyone confirm?
Yes, sir, we can see that.
Okay, so today we have send mail, DSCP. I think DSCP yesterday I've shared, and Samba. So these are the things we have to cover today. So let us start first. What exactly is the send mail? So send mail is a service used to create email server. Okay. So we want to create an email server, we will use send mail. To configure send mail email server in this Linux, we have to follow these steps. So as you can see, for every configuration, every services, we need yum, okay, because it makes easier to install the packages. So here we'll go in the activities, terminal. I will confirm that whether yum is installed or not, and then we'll move for the practical. So to confirm whether yum is configured or not, yum install, sorry, yum repo list. So we can see here the yum is installed. That's why we are able to see the repo ID and repo names. First command to configure send mail, we have yum install minus y package name send mail asterisk. So it will install all the required packages related to the send mail. It will take bit time to install. It doesn't mean that it is stuck on this step. So here in this email, sorry, in this step, there is a one mistake. It is send mail. It should be send mail. Let me correct it. This here. Okay, so when you are typing the commands, be careful. This one send mail.mc. Now the same we have to install mail. Now this package is also installed. We have to go in the configuration file via etc mail sendmail.mc. Okay, so in this, what we have to do, reduce the font size, scroll down, there will be one option, daemon option port SMTP, like this somewhere, 127.0.0.1. So here we can see this is the option, daemon option port SMTP address 127.0.0.1, this one. Okay. So here what I have to do, insert mode and write DNL space. That's it. Okay. Escape colon WQ. So same is mentioned here. We have to go at this place, DNL, change it as per the below. Okay. Now we have to go and define this host names. VI etc then mail local host names. There you go and define. Okay. In the below, add one line and write the domain name. For example, I am giving besant.com and machine name. So machine name, I think it was Linux 1 or 2. So okay, let it make a server dot besant.com. Okay, and then save and exit. Similarly, we have to change the host name also, etc host name. I have given the name server and I need to restart the service, systemctl restart network manager, and if I use the command hostname, I can see the hostname is server. Okay, now I need to create a user. So user add John, first WD John. Okay. Now the next is we have to start the service. Systemctl start send mail. Similarly, I need to enable it permanently, start the send mail service. So it takes time to start the service. It's normal. Similarly, we have to enable this service. After this, vi etc host. So in the host file, we have to do the entry related to this. So what I'm going to do, remove for version 6 and for version 4, I'll delete everything. server server.basant.com. So I'm setting that this is the local server, the name is the server, and after this, next we have to send email and test it. So we have created a user John, so we'll use the command mail -v for verbose -s subject. Okay, then for whom, John at the rate server dot dot com. Okay, then hit enter, and you will get the option to type John. And then Control D to 7 exit. So when you press Control D, it will send the message to that automatically. So this is the one method. Another, earlier also during the pipes topic, we have seen the email command, how we can use multiple lines we can write. That also you can try. Now how John will get email? So let us log in with the John. John will type command mail. So when he is going to type command mail, he will found one email from the user root, and the subject is termination letter. Now to read this letter, he will give the sequence number of the mail, hit enter, and he will get all the details. Okay. Then Q enter to exit from here. So this is how we can configure email server. Okay. If we have DNS available, then using that DNS and domain, if we have, we can use the same, and our email ID will be like john@basant.com. So we have to create MX record there. So this is how we can configure send mail, and we can see the result. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah. Now moving to the next service, that is Samba. So the use of Samba service, yesterday we have seen NFS, sharing files between Linux to Linux. If we have to share files between Windows to Linux, then we have the Samba service. To configure this Samba service, we have a lot of steps, but unfortunately, because of one problem, I will not be able to demonstrate you here, but I can show you the previous my recorded session and explain the same. So you can follow. You see net config workstation. So my computer is in domain array lab. Okay, that's why, because of this, lot of restrictions are there. So I'll not be able to perform the same. Generally, if it is in work group, for you it will be work group, Windows machine, then we can perform this all. So how we can see this? If you see the Samba PQRS. So what are the steps we need to follow for the Samba? is first we have to install the Samba service. So let us see the same here. So first work is install Samba and then verify your windows here, which I have verified. It should be workstation domain, work group, it should show. Okay. Then we are going to copy the configuration file and with another name. Why another name? Here is a smb.conf. Here I am saving with smb.conf.default because if any changes I do and I am not able to recall it, I can restore from this file all the configuration. And then I'm going to make the changes in the same configuration file. So here, this is, we are going to first copy it. You see, I'm going to revert and then I will copy. Installation is done. Then I'm going to copy, you see, etc samba smb.conf, smb.conf.default, or in the last instead of default, you can use any word. Okay. Then once it is done, then the next is we will go in the configuration file. Here, these settings we have to remove, and what settings we have to take, what is mentioned here for the global and anonymous. We have to copy and paste, or if you can't copy and paste, then you have to type manually. Okay, so how you can copy and paste easily? You access your Linux machine through SSH. Okay, so then you will copy that content and just right click on the putty, it will get paste. Okay, so these things are done. After this, once these all things are done and this work group is confirmed, okay, then we have to move for the other steps. Okay. See, this is the folder name, anonymous, which we are going to create. You can give any other name also. If you give other name, accordingly you have to set here also. So there are some commands, just I will copy paste, and the command will execute because it becomes easier. Who is going to type this much? Create a folder inside the SMB folder with the name anonymous. See. Then the next, set the permission. Okay. Then the ownership and all we are going to define. Then this is the chcon for the Samba, and then test the parameters and allow in the firewall. So these all steps, step by step, you have to follow. In the test parameters, you will see all the things are okay. Loaded service file okay, and it will show what are the settings you have done. After this, allowing the service in the firewall, SMB service, and reloading the firewall. After this, starting the service, enabling the service, SMB and NMB, there are two services which we need to start, temporary and permanent both. Once it is done, now we have to access the service. Samba is configured. To access the service, Windows R to open run, and here I have written /rhl8, means instead you have to use IP address of the Samba server. So on Windows machine, /IP address of this Linux machine you have to give on Windows, and you can see this is the anonymous folder which we have created there. When you go inside, it will not ask any username and password. Here I'm going to create a file. After this, when I come back to the Linux machine and open the same file, okay, by going inside this folder, you see we have created myfile.txt in Windows, and when I open, I can see the content what I've written there. So this was anonymous, means anyone can access this share folder without username and password. One thing is called Samba Secure, where we define the username and password. So that specific user can only open that folder. So the next step is for the same. Okay, Samba Secure. So for the Samba Secure, what are the things we have to do? We have to create a group with the name, a secured group or any other name also. Then I'm creating a user demo and parallelly adding the user in group using the -G, okay, and group name. Same, then creating a separate folder with the name secured, setting all the permissions how we have done for anonymous, same way, everything. Okay. Once these all things are done, then here we need to set the password for that user demo. So SMB password, Samba password for this user demo, we are going to set. Then this configuration, we have to copy and paste in the configuration file. Okay. Just under the anonymous, or if you don't want to have anonymous, then you can remove anonymous also. Okay. After paste, just restart the Samba service. Now again going to access the shared folder. To access the share folder, again Windows R with the Linux server IP. Here you can see one more folder appeared. This is the anonymous without username and password, and this one will ask username and password. Whatever password you have set in the command, that you can use. And then you can again create folder and share it and access it. So this is the way how we can configure it. Okay. So this is all related to the Samba. So here you can see the server string Samba server NetBIOS name. This is the name of the machine, Linux machine. Security user, bad user, map to guest, bad user, anonymous, browsable, yes, writable, yes, guest okay means anyone, everyone is allowed, read only no, read write both we have given. Then later here for the secure one, if you see, we have defined the user. Who are the user? User of secured group. What is the folder path? Guest okay? No. There it was yes. Writable yes. Browsable yes. Okay. So these are the things we have to configure for the Samba. Now moving to the next, and I'm going to share this video also in this batch 7 p.m. You can follow and practice the same for Samba. Now for the DSCP. What are the things we have to do for the DSCP? First, we will see the theoretical concept of the DSCP, and then we'll move to the why we need to go more for the theoretical concept, because they'll ask you related to this DSCP. So SCP secure copy is used for copying files and folder in the network, and for this SSH should be configured and enabled. Now DSCP is a dynamic host configuration protocol, and it is used to configure IP address automatically on all the devices in the network. Means suppose there are 1,000 computer or 500 computers in my organization or the company. If as a network administrator I need to go and configure IP and all, it is very tough or hectic work. So for that we have a DSCP. So we can create a server. Automatically by default the devices are set to obtain IP automatically. So automatically this IP address will be allocated by DSCP and requested by the client. Means all the laptops and the desktop, when it is connected in the network, when it is powered on, immediately it will send the request to the DSCP, and DSCP is going to provide the IP address, and automatic configuration of IP address will be done. It uses UDP at transport layer, and the port number is a 67. Okay, so this is the protocol port number. There are some terms which we should know in the IP DSCP. One is IP pool. IP pool means range of IP address to be distributed. There is one thing called lease time. So what is the lease time? The period, the duration for which the IP address is assigned to the devices. Okay. Why there is a lease time? Because if it is a permanent and suppose the device came for 1 day, 2 day, then that IP address will get blocked and it will be very tough for us to find which IP is in use and which is not in use. So this lease time is a better option. Once the lease is expired, if it is not renewed, the same IP will be allocated to other device. Then we have exclusion or excluded IP. So in this, we define the IP address not to be distributed by DHCP server. Suppose I have given a range of 51 to 250. In between, I have used 4 or 5 IP address to configure manually. So here in the exclusion, I need to define, else DHCP will also provide and there will be IP conflict. Okay. Now the next is DHCP messages. So whenever this server and client communication happens for the IP address, this DHCP messages are exchanged. So just understand the same. Okay. And suppose this is my client side and this is my server side. So sorry. So client will start communication 1, 2, 3, then 4. Okay. So client will initiate the communication because it needs IP address. Okay. Now the first message which will be sent by the client, that is called DHCP discover. Okay. So this DHCP discover is a broadcast message. So what are the things it is going to share? It will share source IP address. Source IP address, this computer don't have any IP, so it will be 0.0.0. Then the destination IP address. So destination IP address, it does not know who is the DHCP server. So he will type 255.255.255.0. So 255.255.0 means universal broadcast. Then source MAC. So source MAC, you don't know what it will be. No, sorry, source MAC it will have because it will have interface and it is pre-configured by the manufacturer. So suppose the source MAC is 0.A11.3495.27B. So this is the source MAC. After the source MAC, it needs destination MAC. So it does not know who is the destination. So what will be the destination MAC? FF dot dot. So this will be the destination, means broadcast MAC is generally. Then there will be computer name. And what will be the computer name? Computer name of this requesting device, PC. So this much things will be in the first DHCP discover. So it will do the broadcast for first time. and the broadcast will go to all the devices. So if there is a DHCP server, it will respond with DHCP offer. Okay. So in the offer, what will be the things? In the offer, it will have the IP address. It will check in the database, IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, DNS. All the information will be in the DHCP offer. Then it will send DHCP request to the DHCP server, and then finally DHCP will confirm with DHCP acknowledgement. Okay, that this IP is now assigned to you. Now, why it is like this? Why can't we discover and directly the acknowledgement? The reason is if there are more than one DHCP server in the network, this client might get offer from all the DHCP server. So for the first DHCP server from where it has received the offer, it will send request. Then server will know, okay, he want to take IP from me, and then DHCP server will acknowledge. But for the remaining, it will send DHCP decline. So it will accept only offer for the first DHCP server who has offered the IP. Suppose when a client is trying to contact server and server is busy, then server will give negative acknowledgement. Okay. So this is called DHCP IP leasing process, also known as DORA process, DORA. Now, as you know, the DHCP IP is given for a specific lease time. Suppose the lease time is 8 hours. So when 50% of the lease time expires, then DHCP will send DHCP request, which client to server for renewal. If server is there, then from that point 8 hour is done. If not, then again it will retry when 75% of lease time expires. And if server is there, it will renew. If server is not there, or suppose client is not there in the premises, then the IP will expire, this lease will expire, and again the process will start from discover, offer, and all. So for the renewal of the lease time, only these two messages are exchanged between the server and client. So till here, is everything okay, or do you have any question? Do you have any question?
No, Tanveer. Okay.
Okay, fine then. So now we are moving to the configuration of DHCP. So how we can configure a DHCP server in Linux. Okay. To configure DHCP in Linux, we have to follow few steps, and the steps are not very tough. First is yum install DHCP *-y. So we have to install the DHCP service. Okay. See, configuring DHCP server. So first work we have to do is we have to install DHCP service. Once the DHCP service is installed, then you see the configuration file, it will be empty. So instead of typing everything by our own, there are some sample file. From there we will copy and we will edit it. /dhcp dhcpd.conf. You see, nothing is there in this configuration file. So there are some sample files. Copy by force means overwrite USR, then share doc DHCP server dhcp d.conf.example. This is the example file. I want to copy the same in etc dhcp and dhcpd.conf. Overwrite. Yes. Now when I open this file, you can see all the configurations are there. So how to configure DSCP? It is very simple. A lot of things are there in the sample. Simply put hash before everything. Why? Because I want to disable these options. This option is not required for my DSCP server configuration. So I'll put hash. Basic subnet declaration is also not required. Then this is for boot P. It is also not required. So only we have to put hash. So we are going to disable these options. So here when you see the option, a slight different configuration for internal subnet, this option, there we have to define. What I have to define? The network ID. So 192.168.180.0 is my network ID. And the subnet mask is 255.255.0. And the range from where to where it has to distribute the IP, that is 192.168.180. Suppose 101 to 192.168.180.130. This domain name and server is not required in my configuration here, so I'll put hash hash and this router, the default gateway. So for this default gateway, I'll configure 192.168.180.1. So there generally this default gateway will be either your router IP or firewall IP. Then here in Linux, we need to configure the broadcast IP address. So 192.168.180.255 is the broadcast IP, and these are the lease times. Okay. Now moving to the next. So here for the rest all, again we are going to disable it. So if you miss any point now, then while starting DSCP service, it will fail. Okay. Now escape colon WQ to save and exit. Once we have done this all, then system CTL start DHCPD. You see, it started very easily. If there is any error, it will give failed. Enable in the configuration part. Now we have to allow it through the firewall. So firewall minus CMD hyphen add minus service equal to DHCP space hyphen permanent, and then we will reload it. Okay. So now our DHCP server is ready. Now how to configure as a client? To configure as a client, you have to go to the activities, and here in the setting, network for Linux. For Windows, that's separating. If your Linux is the client, by default it will be the option, but just here to show you, you have to go in the setting and interface should be enabled. IP version 4, here it will be by default automatic. Okay. And if not, then you have to set it to automatic, then it will receive IP address from DHCP server. Okay. Similarly, when it is a Windows OS, Then how it will receive the IP address? Properties and version, obtain IP automatically. Okay, and it will receive IP from the DHCP server. So if you see here, right click, status, detail. Here you will come to know that who is my DHCP server, and there it should show your Linux server IP. Then the practical is success. As we are using the virtual machines, so if I do it also, it will not take IP from the same range and from there. So as of now, suppose for the VMware interface, if I set it like this, obtain IP automatically and everything, you will see it will get IP, but not from the Linux DHCP. See the detail. It is taking from 56.113 and the DHCP server is 56.100. So it is getting the IP from VirtualBox, this hypervisor software. Okay. But in the real scenario, it will work and we can get the IP address. Once the IP address is assigned, allocated, you want to see the client list. You can see in this var lib DHCP and DHCP list is option. Okay. So this much was remaining from my side in this course to cover. Now with this, I have completed Linux course from my side. If you have anything to ask or discuss, we can. Any doubt if you have any question? Okay, fine then. This is the format which you have to fill now so that this will get acknowledged that course is completed and they'll process for your next courses. Okay, so here you have to mention this. I acknowledge the course Linux is completed, mail, course name, and the trainer name and the completion date, which is today. So please fill it now and share in the same WhatsApp group.
Do we need to send it now, sir? Right now?
Yes, yes.
Oh.
So please do it. Okay. After completion of this course, later if you are doing any practical and if you have any issues, you can reach out to me as usual. It's not like today
Okay, sir.
if the course is completed and then after today we'll not be able to connect with each other. It's not like that. Because I know most of you are not doing practical parallelly due to any reason, maybe. So whenever you have time and accordingly you are doing these practicals, just perform and let me know if any help, any assistance is required. Kavya, Shantanu, Dinesh, please fill it. Kavya, Shantanu, and Dinesh, are you there?
Why we have to send any mails we are getting for this?
Come again. Kavya, your voice was not clear. Can you come again?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sending.
Okay, fine then.
I'm sending Tanveer. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fine. Okay.
yeah. And why we
Your voice is lagging. Dinesh, are you there? Dinesh and Shantanu.
Hello.
If you want to ask anything and your voice is not clear, can you put it in chat? Okay, fine then. If you have any queries, you can let me know. Okay. You can message me your queries in this chat or else in the group chat. Okay, thank you all for your time.